Hey guys, AngerBeast here, bringing you some free-for-all gameplay on the map Hangar, and I'm using the Gewehr assault rifle here with the suppressor attachment, and I think I have my perks on as the bazooka ×2, the stopping power perk, and extreme conditioning. This is obviously some World at War. This is World at War Wednesdays, episode 1. If this gets any kind of feedback that's good, then I'll continue this series. I mean, I love this game. It's probably my favorite of all the Call of Duties. And it's just for the nostalgic feel of it. I know a lot of people don't like the World War II era for first-person shooter. They say it's been overworked. But I think this game did it perfectly. Other than the MP40, which in my opinion never really was too big of an issue for me, this game is absolutely amazing. I mean, the graphics here are so awesome, and the fact that you can gib people with the right weapons is absolutely amazing. Like, you can blow people's heads and limbs off, and that's just awesome. It's the only Call of Duty that's been able to ever do that online. And it's a shame that that didn't make it into Black Ops or any of the other Call of Duties. But we do have this game for the feel and nostalgicness of it, and that's why I play this game. Now, a couple of things about the Gewehr that are interesting is that it was originally based around a gas-operated design that was very, very complex. It was a cone-shaped design called the Bang Bolt. And it's interesting because that design was intended to be used instead of what was used in the more common SVT-40 design, like standard gas-operated blowback. But it was unsuccessful in tests, and it was dropped because it would accidentally jam up, or it would also fire randomly off rounds. So that was dropped, and that's a good thing because it was constantly killing the German soldiers behind their own lines, and that was never good. And it was replaced with the SVT-40's blowback design. However, one thing that the Gewehr did differently than the SVT-40 was the fact that it shot a different size cartridge than the SVT-40. I believe the SVT-40 shoots a 9 by 9, 7.92 by 50 some millimeter cartridge, whereas the Gewehr shoots an 8 millimeter by 57 millimeter cartridge, which is very interesting considering the fact that the Gewehr was considered less powerful than the SVT-40. One thing that's very, very cool about the Gewehr is the fact that it cannot be equipped with a suppressor or a grenade launcher in real life. These attachments were originally designed for this weapon, but they were dropped early in production as they were deemed as unsuccessful. Now, that's interesting because this is the only rifle that can equip a rifle grenade besides the M1 Garand, and it also can equip a suppressor, which is kind of odd considering that World War was known for its reliability as far as what weapons can use what attachments. It was also interesting to note that for its time, it was interesting that the Gewehr wasn't able to equip a bayonet, unlike a lot of other weapons, and even shotguns of the day had bayonet lugs on them, but not the Gewehr. But in-game, this is probably my favorite semi-automatic rifle. I mean, the SVT-40 is a close one, but I think I like this one for the less visual recoil of it, and the fact that this gun can be shot at a faster, effective rate of fire is also nice. The Gewehr in game, I believe, is a 3 to 4 hit kill with stopping power and a 4 to 5 without. No, sorry, it's a 3 to 4 hit kill without stopping power and a 2 to 3 hit kill without. So if you have a decent trigger finger, this gun will be no problem for you. You can pick up people off to really, really long distances, which is what I do with it. And this spot right here on this map is by far the most effective free-for-all location that I've found. You can absolutely destroy people coming up the stairs. You can just sit up there and kill people who are climbing through the ledge on the opposite side of the Hangar. So I love the maps on World at War. That's one of the things I think has declined throughout the Call of Duty series. The map design has really failed for me. I don't know what it is, but there's just something about these classic World War II maps that are just so realistic to me. Like the fact that there's the tattered Japanese flag right there. It's just so real to what the war actually was. And I think that's missing in a lot of these maps. I mean, you find places like Underground. There's like no signs of destruction there at all. It doesn't look realistic in my opinion. And that's part of the Call of Duty experience that's always made it cool for me, is the fact that it looks realistic on a lot of these maps. But I hope in Black Ops 2, I really do hope that with some maps like this, classic maps that look like they really were going through a battle, but not like what we find in Afghan and whatnot. There's just this one crash plane. There's no other signs of destruction. But for tips in game with this, I know the game's quite a bit old and there aren't too many tips to give at this point, but to find unhacked lobbies is a tough thing in the first place. And what I've found I like to do is I find that less hackers play free-for-all. As a general rule, they like to play the objective game modes because they can just use God mode on the flag and whatnot. And that that can help them out because they can cap the objectives really easily. So I like to stay away from ground war, and I like to stay away from domination in this game. It's a shame because war and ground war are two of my favorite game modes in this game, but because there's so many hackers these days, it's not that playable. But in free for all, I found that I can generally find a lobby or two without a hacker, and that's always a good thing. As far as hacks go, as long as the player isn't using God mode at this point in the game, I'll stay in a game. Even if they're using an infinite ammo grenade launcher type thing, I'll stay in the game as long as they're not using God mode, because I feel like I can still have a chance against these opponents. But if they're using God mode, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just gonna quit out. But if one hack that I found is actually really cool, at least for a short period of time, is the ice rink hack. I didn't know there was this, but basically you can turn on ice rink mode or whatever that's called, and you can be kind of like skating around the map and floating around corridors, and that's kind of cool. It'd be awesome if some of these people that are using hacks actually had dedicated playlists in the game, so that they didn't have to hack to use it, because I think it'd be cool to once in a while jump into an ice rink lobby if I wanted to, and not have to have a hack to do it. One thing I want to note here is that I'm not using my modded controller in this game. It's just me shooting normally. That's one of the things I liked about this game, is that the rifles can be fired very, very fast, very effectively, very fast. And that's what made this game cool. When I first picked up this game, I was worried it was going to be very slow because there's so many rifles, bolt-action rifles, and light machine guns. I was afraid that the game would be slow-paced, but that's not how it plays. There's so many people running around with submachine guns that it's effective to sit back and let people run towards you with their submachine guns while you pick them off with the rifle. Anyways, guys, this gameplay is winding down. Pick up the nice final kill there with my Gewehr. Ends up being something like a 30-8 free-for-all. I'm Angry Beast, and I'm signing out.